You know they're out there, don't you?
Where do you come from?
Another galaxy.
You know they're out there. You know they're out there. You know they're out there, don't you?
Where do you come from?
Another galaxy.
You know they're out there. You know they're out there. You know they're out there, don't you?
Where do you come from?
Another galaxy. You know they're out there. You know they're out there. You know they're out there, don't you?
Bonjour et bienvenue au Cas de SIO. Préférez-vous les instructions en français? Do you prefer your instructions in English?
Yes, English.
English? Each team has 20 minutes to present its case to the judges. The time is indicated on the timer as a countdown. In case of a problem, I will indicate the remaining time with the posters. I'll be indicating with the posters as well as the countdown. If you do not end your presentation after 20 minutes, it will be stopped to move on to the period of questions. A period of questions of a maximum duration of 5 minutes is assigned to the jury at the end of the presentation. I would like to remind the jury that it is mandatory to ask at least one question during this period. Please note that you cannot reveal the name or city of your university as you may be disqualified. I would like to ask the public to turn off their cell phones. I will now invite the judges to introduce themselves. Je vais maintenant laisser les juges se présenter et ensuite vous pouvez débuter votre présentation. Afterwards, you may begin your presentation.
Bonjour, Vincent Thériault, cofondateur de Sur Mesure.
Hi, my name is Eric. I'm the IT director at Sur Mesure.
Bonjour, mon nom est Camille Barry, directrice marketing chez Sur Mesure.
Bonjour, Guy Rochette, vice-président, service d'infrastructure au Centre des services partagés du Québec.
You may begin your presentation.
À Sur Mesure, votre mission et votre vision a toujours été d'être capable de révolutionner l'industrie. Et ça, c'est en mariant la couture traditionnelle, bien sûr, avec l'innovation technologique. Et par contre, avec le vent du changement qui souffle sur l'industrie technologique, et en même plus, les clients qui exigent une expérience encore plus personnalisée, c'est le temps qu'on doit changer. Et uniquement comme vous l'avez toujours fait, en trouvant des solutions, étant même spécialisées et personnalisées pour les unités de clients que vous avez, c'est notre tour pour que nous, on vous offre la solution personnalisée pour vous. Moi, nous sommes BVK Consulting, moi je suis Vincan, j'ai mon collègue Kevin et Brandon, et nous sommes ici pour vous expliquer quelle est la solution personnalisée pour vous. Starting off, of course, with our mandate. Our mandate is to find a systematic and efficient way for you, Sur Mesure, of managing your customer relations. And that means we are considering these three things. The customer relationship, and that means making sure that these customer relationships are as close as possible and as personalized. Frequency of purchase is making sure that these customers feel satisfied about their purchases and that they do return on, and most specifically under the 40 days that we are expecting. And finally, of course, having a technological innovation, making sure that all of these things and the solution at the end does push the boundaries of our technological usage. So now let's take a look at where we are today. So you have 4 unique shopping platforms that you can serve your clients and also anywhere. And that means whether it is from Canada and the United States, you have these platforms to serve them. Currently, you're also competing in a seasonal and systemic industry. And what this means is that these products that you offer currently are not necessarily or generally something that people are going to purchase very frequently. And of course, our seasonal industry, meaning during the winter it may not be as popular, or during the wedding season it may be a bit more popular. Of course, there's a lot of IT tools that you're using at the moment, and especially Studio, which encompasses all of the integration of all the other tools you use, whether that's the Google Suite, MailChimp, or even the ones you use to track your KPIs, for instance. And finally, there is a defined IT governance within your industry at the moment, and that is the emphasis on your core business, rather than instead looking into expanding your database or trying to make your own in-house solution. You always try to stick to a system as a service approach, making sure that you have the time to concentrate on your core businesses, and you're using IT as a platform to leverage everything and making sure that the customer is able to get that personalized experience. And the challenges that we are facing today is, first of all, the lack of the capitalization of the data that we currently have. There's a lot of data being collected at the moment, but there's no complementary or link being done between the clients and the product characteristics. Another one of the challenges is there is a thrive at the moment within the industry to create a closer relationship with your client, whether that's the current client or the future clients. And finally, your main goal is to integrate the innovative technology and to enhance and personalize this customer experience that they have at SOMAZER. So your consumers, how do they look like at the moment? Well, between 2015 and 2017, you've had 6,623 clients, and those of them have 39% of them have a 50 to 100K annual income, and 33% of them have a 100K annual income. In terms of age demographics, we're looking at 30% in terms of 18 to 30 years old, and 37% from 30 to 40 years old. So this gives you an idea of what kind of customers you have at the moment, and what kind of solution and approach you want to take to make sure that we target them. And one of the main targets that we have is making sure that we're targeting the everyday wear for them. And that means getting them a specific size and fit, because sometimes these things are not easy to find. And finally, providing the best and unique experience for them in terms of the shopping, in terms of the tailoring, in terms of the choosing the material. It's all about giving that personal experience. So now let's take a look at the alternatives for the solution that we have in mind. First off, perhaps one of the solutions that we can do is revamping our technological features. And that means whether it is using virtual reality to look at these clothes in 3D, moving around, using it, and maybe even manipulating it, opening it up, checking to see the pockets inside, or even the patterns that you have under the collar right here. And that's using the technology to enhance the customer experience. Diversifying the product line is, for instance, taking a look to see if you can integrate or look into expanding into basics, so staple clothing. So whether that's undergarments, undershirts, or cufflinks, all types of accessories that can complement the product line that you have today. And finally, is creating a data-driven marketing or integration. And that means using the data that you currently have that is not necessarily being used today to be able to create a more personalized and custom experience for them. And we've evaluated these on 4 main criteria. How technologically driven it is, the customer value, how much it can create in terms of customer value, how fitting it is for SOMAZER to integrate this technology, this solution, and finally, the time to implement it. So in terms of technologically driven and customer value, we've attributed a higher weight to them, and that's 30% for both of these, because we feel that these are your core business values, creating a unique experience and also making sure that it's powered by some kind of data innovative strategy. And all in all, this shows us that in the end is that the data-driven marketing integration strategy is our recommendation. So this recommendation is to implement, of course, the data-driven target marketing strategy, and we're counting on 3 main pillars for this. The first off is our integration of the current system, making sure that we're using what we already have today, because we want to make sure this experience that we create is focused on the experience and not totally focusing on expanding your database or things that are not necessarily important to you. So making sure we're focused on our client. Next is using the data-driven solution to create this personalized experience and using that data so that we can better understand the client, their needs, and making that closer relationship that we're looking for. And finally, creating customer value. Creating this customer value and personalized experience allows them to want to come back, or even have them suggested products so that they do come back and they do come to the store and visit you, whether it is for getting the new measurements, the adjustments, or even getting new products. So for our recommendation, we went with a 3 main phase implementation. The First one is choosing your fabric, and then after that it's tailoring your suit, of course. And the last approach for this is striking the pose. And all these are put on the short, medium to long-term phase. So we're going from a 0 to 3 months for the first phase. For the second month, we're going from the second phase, we're going from a 3 to 9 months. And finally, for the future and beyond, is striking the pose. So now my colleague Brandon will be going over the details of the implementation for this.
The fun part about implementation, actually getting results and knowing when we can get the value we're actually generating. So first, for choosing the fabric between 0 to 3 months, we have 3 key points. We have the market basket, which is our solution. And it's finding the ideal off-the-shelf market basket. So what does that mean? Is that it's just like a software as a service. We want to find if there's already a software that's already created that can offer all the needs that we have as a business. And if there isn't, we can either customize it in-house or we can just add customizability on that software as a service, which we will most likely do. And in regards to the infrastructure, we assumed that currently your current servers cannot support so much more information, knowing that you have over 10,000 options in fabrics and having all those correlations with different clients and different needs and all those possibilities of items and customizability, that there would be more data generated and it would need that kind of server capacity upgrade. Also, we want to double down on compliance. We want to make sure that our servers are compliant so that we respect the needs of our clients. We want to make sure that their data, their information are safe and secure so that they can be happy to share their information about what they prefer, what they like, and what kind of style they love. Lastly, compatibility of the integration is just making sure that all of the softwares that you're currently using and that require a compatibility in regards to the off-the-shelf basket, that it's done nicely and that everything is functioning together. And now, for the 3 to 9 months. We're looking at a demo, which is one of our milestones. It's having a not so finished product, but that can actually function, but not to its full potential. This brings value towards the change management phase, where we can give a demo to all of our employees that will be using this software and practice with it. Get it to know how it works and slowly being ready for when it goes live. Then, customizability. We want to add as many features as we can to fit the business. If there's any requirements that are unique to your business that you feel that needs to be emphasized in this software, we can make sure that it's going to be added towards that software within that 3 to 9 months of development. And lastly, that ongoing training. We want to make sure that throughout this whole process, we have a proper change management, because with a very strong change management, we can make sure that everyone is on board, that everyone is ready for this kind of change, and that we're actually going to make a big deal out of this software, which we believe will bring a lot of value in the long run. And now for the 10 to plus month. How does it look like in the long run? We believe that with the software, it brings new possibilities. And one of these possibilities is an eco-friendly and ethical product solution. What does that mean? So for example, some of your users of your products believe that we should look at our materials. Where does it come from? Does it come from countries where they have reliable pay, good workers, and are valuing Earth and all the ecological surroundings or anything like that? We want to make sure that that is answered in regards to our clients. So let's say they're looking for a specific suit, we can have a little tag that would trace exactly where the suit, all the fabrics are coming from, and that it's actually eco-friendly or ethically approved. And now, how do we get started? How do we go about this ambitious project? First, we want to standardize and clean our current data. We believe that cleaning the data is very important to start off. You want to make sure that everything that you currently collect in regards to your studio platform, which is your CRM, that everything is clean and ready for a standardization phase. The standardization phase is to make sure that all the data that is going into your server is good, reliable, and in a proper structured manner where everyone that's using it or adding more data to it is on the same standard. Because if you don't do that, it's going to be very dirty and very hard on the long run, and it's going to make you clean your data more often than you would want to do so. Then you have the new level of data collection, and that's when the change management is emphasized. We want our employees at all our different locations to collect more information about our users. Let's say we have a certain client that we ask questions to. We try to remember as much information as we can about them, and then once we have their approval, we would collect their information, and then your employee would enter in a portal all the information about that client. And lastly, we want to make sure that we're linking the basket, the marketing basket, with the studio, the MailChimp. MailChimp is your email platform, which would have that target marketing in the end, which is what brings value to this item. Now for the next slide. What about data security? We really want to emphasize how data security is very important in regards to the data that we're collecting. Because we're a high-end company, we want to make sure that our clients understand that they are our highest priority. So first, we want to offer an opt-out option, making sure that clients have an option of yes or no, do they want your data to be collected? Then, we want to make sure that we grow an in-house server capacity, and that if we stay compliant in regards to PAPIDA, which is the regulations for Canada, the Commission de l'Accès de l'Information du Québec is also taken into consideration. And lastly, we want GDPR, European standards, to be included, because we believe that with your fast growth currently, we could expand not only to the US, which is often GDPR that is used, or in Europe, so then those two continents are covered for your future expansion and your scalability. And now, what is a market basket? I think you guys have been asking the question a little and scratching your heads maybe. So what is it? It's a software that creates relationships with your transactions and what you're selling with your clients directly. So it's combining your CRM with an application that can predict what they want, what they prefer, and what they love. And then with MailChimp, it would email them exactly what they want. So why is that beneficial? Because then that would increase the customer's interests and having better customized purchases. Or if they see something that is interesting to them, it's exactly their style, it's exactly their color, and that's when they want to come to the shop. So how would that work? Let's give an example. There's one person named Kevin that is trying to buy a luxury item. He loves diversity and top-end innovation. So he would require a lot of options, top-of-the-line items, a lot of customizability, and maybe a little higher price. But then maybe Carl is trying to get married. He wants something very simple. He doesn't want that many options, and then that's when we offer a lot fewer options. Because then you don't want to overwhelm the client. You just want to give, example, black suits or just very simple options that are, for example, if they're married, or all the information that you're collecting to give that specific answer to them.
Moving on to the change management. So at the end of the day, what we're suggesting is going to be pushed by your advisors in your store. But to do that, we need to get to your advisors. So what we recommend is a conference for them to show up, a sheet conference for them to really interact with you guys and introduce our new technological advancements so they're aware of the change moving forward. We want to make sure you know what it is, what their potentials are, and the training they not to do to get to that. Because at the end of the day, it's your advisors who will do the data linking. So should there be any resistance, we recommend a personal mentoring or change champions to really push the advisors. So let's take you on a journey. Meet Danny. Doesn't look like much now, but he walks up to Sumizura, he chooses your fabric, we measure him, we see what he looks like, he checks out, and then we adjust for his suit. He's happy, he has his customized suit, his Savvy Row standards of an outfit. And moving forward, we have Danny again. He chooses the fabric, but this time your advisor is more personal. He asks, not only does he ask, what does he like, but had it not been for the complementary outfits, what would he have liked after that? What are his interests? What are his dislikes? Does he like multimedia? Does he like sports? And then we go to the measure. So then we go on to more in-depth analysis on, oh, do you like a more loose fit, a more soft fit? And that's moving on forward until the target market. We collect the data in the choose and measure phase. We have your advisors ask pertinent questions about the customer to really emphasize that Sur-Mesure is customer focused. And using that data that we found, using our market basket analysis, we're able better to predict which outfit, which accessory, which even which fabric he'll like next. Fast forward to the 40 days, you send an email using MailChimp, using our market basket, and then thinks themselves, wow, Sur-Mesure. I bought my suit, I'm satisfied, but they go above and beyond my need. They sent me a personalized promotion saying that they remembered I like James Bond, let's say, that I want to be dressed to the nines just like James. Now, what are these KPIs? So the first thing is making sure that we have the customer loyalty on lockdown. We're going to use, you guys use a survey, and that's fantastic, but we're going to up the ante a bit. We're going to use Net Promoter Score. What that means is just basically how likely your customer is going to recommend your brand, your store, your service to his friends. We're going to make sure that's a 95 promoter score to make sure that they are as loyal as can be. Next up is the effectiveness of the market basket, to make sure that what we're pitching and what our scenarios are really link to their demand. And we want to make sure that there's an 80% repeat purchase based on a recommendation. Should it not be effective, we will tailor even more the data to make sure that they are buying. And lastly, the project variation time, to make sure that this project is delivered as early as possible to reap the benefits as early as possible. Next up, we have 3 risks. Client not wanting to share data, the relevant product recommendation, and market basket application. Our solutions, the clause box, to make sure that they know that their data is being gathered, if it's not, to increase the data collection, and the due diligence of it. We estimate $28,000 upfront, $4,000 every year, and after 5 years of $20,000. Moving forward, we believe that our strategy will increase yields by 45% in the next 5 years. So finally, what have we done today? We've implemented a strategy to help you at Sur-Mesure take your customer focus and push it beyond that. To go not only know what they want, but also predict what they want and meet that. So at the end of the day, with our strategy, Sur-Mesure becomes a company that's always has been and always will be about the customer focus. Thank you, and we open the floor for questions.
On page 13, you talked about the market basket integration, and you used the word that the market basket can predict. Can you tell me more about how this would work?
So using your current database, you've seen what your customers have purchased and what they'll purchase afterwards. And basically what it is just linking the one product that they buy to the next one. So by having multiple customers, it feeds into a database and increases the probability of the next product that we push to be purchased.
Is that done manually by a human being, or?
No, it's all done through the application that we're going to develop afterwards.
Okay.
Or outsource.
Okay.
You have to find a SaaS or you have to develop it?
For the market basket application, going with the core business that you've always had, looking for a SaaS would be our priority, and then looking afterwards for any customization that may be required to fit and tailor this to your business. Could definitely be an option, because the science behind it, the concept behind using whatever you have in your database at the moment and creating these links with the products that you have right now and suggesting these products is something that a lot of businesses already do, and we can definitely find something that's off the shelf.
And it's as low as $3,000 a year?
So the upfront cost is going to cover the everything, the customization, anything, and we believe the licensing fee will only be $3,000, given the size of your company.
Did you think after there's probably a lot of work from his team to integrate everything and link it? There's probably a lot of HRs involved on their side as well.
For sure, and that's why the 20,000 is included. If that price includes the customization fee to really fit all the systems that you have now. And to top of that, the change management slide, we preach to your advisors, which is the core of your business, and within the internal, and to make sure that they understand moving forward what the changes are and what they have to do to accommodate that change.
In your risk mitigation plan, you talked about one of the risks being irrelevant product recommendations, and that the mitigation in this case would be to increase the number of data that we collect. What would happen if we want to recommend something to a client, but we don't have enough data to recommend a product or a color of fabric or?
And let's say it's a new collection.
There's options for customized weights. So for example, if you want to market a specific item, you can add it into a specific category. You can really play with all those options. It's really sky's the limit in regards to how much customization you want for the software itself.
So what this means is, for instance, you have a new product you came out with, and you're ready to push it. So what you do is you attribute a higher weight to this product compared to your older products, for instance. And that's going to allow you to push forward with this product instead because of the added weight that you have.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.